Discover a safe way to smoke in the V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review. With people looking to stop the habit of smoking, the electronic cigarette market has really exploded in the past few years. Now, while electronic cigarettes are not technically a stop-smoking method, many people have used these harmless devices to substitute the use of real cigarettes. If this is you, and you are like many thousands, if not millions of people that are looking for a way to get away from smoking real cigarettes, then you should continue reading this V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review, as it may hold some answers to questions you may have had about electronic cigarettes and how these devices can help you. It seems like every day the electronic cigarette market is growing by leaps and bounds. Today, there are plenty of different choices a consumer has when it comes to using an electronic cigarette as opposed to a traditional cigarette. While there are many choices a person will have, this V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review is right to point out that the V2 electronic cigarette is one of those brands that has set itself apart from many other brands of electronic cigarettes. Not a simple task to do in this growing market, but it is what V2 has done. Perhaps one of the reasons for V2's status and popularity in this market is the affordability of their packages. As this V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review goes, it is likely that one of the biggest issues when it comes to an electronic cigarette is the cost. For around $75, you can get the full V2 electronic cigarette package, which is far less than the average smoker will spend on cigarettes in a month. However, if this amount seems a bit much for you, then you can opt for a less expensive package. These scaled-down packages usually go for around $60 if you'd prefer to spend less money at once to start. Now, when it comes to flavors, this V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review would be remiss for not pointing out that among users, the traditional flavors offered up by V2 when it comes to real tobacco is perhaps the best in the industry. Among ex-smokers and current users of electronic cigarettes, the Congress tobacco and menthol flavors offered by V2 are considered some of the most realistic in the industry. If the idea of changing it up with different flavors is more your speed, the V2 has a full line of novelty flavors like cherry, vanilla, cowboy tobacco, and coffee. Either way, whether it's real tobacco flavor or a change of pace with another flavor, V2's cartridges offer some of the strongest and most enjoyable flavors an electric cigarette can offer. Now that you understand the pricing involved in the V2 package, the next question is, what comes in the V2 starter kit? For $74.95, you will get your choice of 2 black or white electronic cigarettes, a charger with a combo cord and a USB adapter, a wall charger, user manual, and your choice of 2 flavored cartridges. According to this V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review, that is a very significant offer for a basic starter kit. However, if you prefer a less expensive option, you can try the cheaper kit. The $60 kit has all that is included in the more expensive kit, only you get 1 battery instead of 2. And for those of you who've researched this far into the V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review and still don't know what the difference is between an electric cigarette and a real cigarette, then it is time to inform you. The simplest way to explain it is that an electronic cigarette is a harmless way to have the feel and the look of smoking a cigarette. Cigarettes contain hundreds of harmful and deadly chemicals. In addition to that, cigarettes are addictive as well. Electronic cigarettes give the person the nicotine that they've become dependent on, but it also gives people the touch and the feel of a real cigarette without the harmful and deadly chemicals. While real cigarette smoke is harmful to the smoker as well as others, electric cigarettes like the one mentioned in this V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review replaces that acrid and unhealthy smoke with harmless water vapor. By using nebulizer technology, water vapor is used to simulate smoke, thus enhancing the experience of using an electronic cigarette when not endangering anyone's health in the process. There are many benefits of these electronic cigarettes, and some of the most important ones you will find in this V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review are the obvious health benefits. Real cigarettes pose a huge risk of heart disease, cancer, and other severe respiratory ailments. However, outside of the medical benefits that can be reaped from using electronic cigarettes, you will certainly smell better. When you use an electronic cigarette, it doesn't burn tobacco, so there is no real smell to deal with. Lastly, an electric cigarette, like the one found in this V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review, will certainly cost you a lot less than smoking real cigarettes will cost. Yes, the initial cost is higher, but cartridge packets last longer than an average pack of cigarettes, and in the long run, electronic cigarettes are going to be easier on your wallet than real cigarettes. So, if you're looking for a viable replacement for your real cigarette, then it is hopeful that this V2 Cigs electronic cigarette review has helped you make the right choice. The V2 electronic cigarettes are an excellent replacement for your traditional cigarette, and they can be just the thing that gets you off of cigarettes for good.